awaits is over.
Welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and I got another recap for you guys. Love Island Season 8 Episode 32, and this was one hell of a shocking recoupling, and we're going to unpack all of this. So before we do, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash the like button, and also feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's talk about what happened in episode number 32. Okay, so as we remember from the previous episode, the guys were about to make their decisions on whether or not they were going to stay with the girl that they were originally coupled up with or choose one of the 6 girls that had came in through the Casa Amor experience. So, first off, we remember Dami has some things to decide because of his situation with Indiyah and Summer. We have Andrew have something to decide because of Tasha and Coco. We know there's no decision here with Luca because he still want to be with Gemma. He had a connection, Davide, with, of course, Molly, but there's Ekin-Su. And Jay is officially single as he was coupled up with Danica, so he'll probably choose one of these girls, and we'll definitely hear what that is now. So Jay, like I said, was coupled up with Danica, but now he chose to continue his connection that he has with China. Now, I do see some connection, but I think it's going to take a little bit more time for them to build upon it, but we'll see what happened with these two in the villa. However, Danica, coming from Casa Amor, decided to bring in Josh. So her and Josh is now a new couple in the villa. And I actually like these two. I think they're absolutely cute together, and they have a really good connection that they're building up on. Then next up is Davide. Now, we know he's currently with Ekin-Su, and it was actually his turn because remember he had some form of a connection with Molly, and of course he had also been sharing a bed with Molly. However, he ended up staying with Ekin-Su, and he was smiling from ear to ear because of the fact that Ekin-Su also chose to stay with him. She came back single, but now still in her coupling with Davide, and they looked so cute. I don't know, it's a weird chemistry going on between these two, but they are still together. Next up is Dami. Now this is the wild card because of the fact that Dami has a coupling relationship with Indiyah, and then he also built a connection with Summer. Well, he chose Summer. And the faces of course, Danica and Ekin-Su was shocked to the highest level of shocktivity, if that's even a word. However, and I mean, it's like, what do you expect? Something is always going to happen in Casa Amor. But he seemed pretty proud of himself with his chest stuck out until Indiyah decided to come back with Deji, and I don't know what he expected. Was he trying to, I guess, hope she came by herself? But she ended up choosing Deji, and the looks on their faces, it was pretty interesting, this particular interaction, because they started throwing a lot of shade at each other. He thought this was funny. Because as much as it looked like he wasn't too happy of the fact that she coupled up with Deji, you know, she wasn't happy of the fact that he coupled up with Summer. And I'm like, okay, y'all made y'all decisions. What's with the messiness? But you guys got to check out what happened with this whole thing because it got real crazy between the two of them.
To follow my head, and I'm glad I did. So at the end of the day, I feel like everything happens for a reason. You know, it is what it is.
Till it isn't.
Dami, do you have anything you want to say to Indy?
Happy for you. All that stuff. Happy for myself too.
Seems it.
Yeah. You happy?
Absolutely.
Good.
Were you expecting him to be sitting beside someone else? Do you know what? Expect the unexpected. I see his true colours now, do you know what I mean?
We're heartbreakers, so here we are.
May the best heartbreaker win.
I don't understand why they are both upset. The faces that they making, especially Dami's, and I mean, she chose Deji, he chose Summer. Obviously, there's still some feelings there, but if there is, why didn't you continue to pursue your coupling? You have moved on. She left, you left. I don't get it. I mean, guys, let me know what you think about that whole interaction. If you saw the episode, these two, it was like they were both pissed off at each other for picking somebody else. And it's like you followed your heart. You made your choice. You made your bed. Now both of you got to lie in your separate beds. That's it. So on a lighter note, we have Luca. And we pretty much are predisposed to already know who both Luca and Gemma are choosing, and they decided to stay in their coupling. No surprises there. Look like they were happy to see each other. Give me a violin. It is what it is, you know. So I didn't expect anything. He slept on a daybed the whole Casa Amor experience. Now she did sleep in the bed with somebody else, and that's going to come up later, so stay tuned. Now it's Andrew's turn. Now, Andrew has been pissed off from the beginning of Casa. He was planning on sticking until he started talking about how fake Tasha was, and the girls was pissed. And not only were they pissed at him, but they were also pissed at the girls for coming into Casa telling him all of this information. And yeah, now they started, the OG girls started calling the new girls itches, and I'll just say it like that. But look like they're going to have a little bit of distinction. The ones that stay in, which we already got Summer in the house, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out, because the girls are not happy about what the Casa girls said about their friend Tasha. But it's like, you guys know what's up. You know what I've been saying for the duration of the time of their little coupling. They're not working. And he decided, meaning Andrew, to choose Coco. And I'm like, why are you giving him the side eye? Y'all know Tasha been playing that boy. Y'all know she's been hot and cold. I mean, seriously. And y'all also know what she's been doing in Casa, especially Danica. So she came back, not by herself, but of course with Billy. So of course we see Andrew is not happy, but he really digs deep, and he has this to say.
Nah, to be fair, I think the Casa Amor girl said it. She's fake, to be honest, and to be fair, mate, good luck to you. She tells more lies than Pinocchio.
Yep, he said it. She's fake, and that she tells more lies than Pinocchio. And yeah, he was pissed. And now you see Billy's head was bent down during that whole thing, but she also had a little bit to say as well.
There's been a side to me that's come out that's just like, I can't explain it, but I feel like more myself than I have been in the past 3.5 weeks.
So she turned around and hit him with the coup de grace by saying, you know what? I haven't felt this way in the past 4 weeks that I do feel now with Billy. And yeah, he was pissed. I mean, they were throwing mud. And you can look at her face. She's looking like, I don't care. I did what I did. And you know it's affecting Andrew. It's killing him. Speaking of somebody about to be killed, let's talk about Jacques. Now, Jacques had a connection with Cheyenne. And I think Cheyenne, with her bright-eyed and her facial expression, I actually think that she thought Jacques was going to choose her. But the look at Ekin-Su, because his words were cryptic, she figured it out that something was going on between those two. However, we saw that the decision that Jacques made, which was to choose to stay with Paige. Paige came back. Cheyenne went from bright-eyed to disappointment because it seems like from what we saw over the past couple days, Jacques was leading her on big time. I mean, it was so much going on in that pool, which if you haven't seen my video for yesterday, I put that clip in there. She was all down in his shorts. But Cheyenne had something to say too, thanks to the hostess with the mostest. Take a look.
Felt like I had a connection with someone. I suppose my version of test is different to someone else's.
And who was that you had a connection with?
Jacques.
And you can see Paige's heart sinking in that moment when she heard, of course, Cheyenne talk about what happened and the connection that was built with Jacques, especially after Jacques decided to, stick around with Paige. And her facial expressions were freaking hilarious. Oh my God, I know he had to be sitting on pins and needles because he was cooked in that moment. But Paige had a couple things as well.
It's not really what you want to hear when you come back, especially with how I was in Casa. But it's just one of those things.
Baby girl, you holding a cool face right now, but I don't think it is synced in as of yet. So then somebody else had a connection as well, and the whistle is blown on this person.
A few chats, but I did feel like I did have a bit of a connection with one of the boys. We were sharing the bed most nights and we were kissing. So, I mean, that's pretty deep if you ask me. He also said he had his eyes on me from the start, so I'm a bit confused, but, it's one of those things. Davide.
All I can say is chickens coming home to roost. Ekin-Su, you went through both Jacques and Jay when you screwed over Davide in the beginning. So, yeah, go ahead and, you got to take this one. I'm sorry. Anyway, did you guys also see the look on Jacques' face? Because he also kind of, tried to build a connection with Molly too. So he was over there squirming. And of course, Paige gave him the eye. But it is what it is. It's all over. The girls get to go home. The other three boys from from Casa as well. I do say that with this whole situation with Paige, Cheyenne did have a conversation with her saying, I really think you're a good person. You just need to know what's up. Now, it's interesting that happens. And I think that, that was okay for her to do. But would she have felt the same if Jacques picked her? Think about it. So now we got Ekin-Su revisiting that whole thing and his connection, meaning Davide, with Molly. Now, she is trying to be pissed off about the fact of him kissing her and sharing a bed. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? I had to explore my connection. She was like, well, you don't trust me. Why should I trust you? And he was like, you know what happened with Jay. That's exactly what he told her. You know what happened with Jay and how I felt about that. And, so why are you trying to throw stones? You need to stop. And I mean, I couldn't say anything else because she ran ruckshot through that villa a few weeks ago, both with Jacques and Jay. Ekin-Su, sweetie, we haven't forgot about that. Neither has Davide. Now, we also have love-lorn Luca, who is happy to see his girl, Gemma, back in the villa. Now, when they talked about their separate experiences, of course, you know, he said, I had the day bed. I'm not sleeping with nobody. I was faithful. What were you doing? Gemma was like, well, you know, I slept with a couple boys in the bed. It was all friendship. And Luca got a little testy about that. He was like, well, what happened? And what did you do? And what was under the covers? And y'all was talking. Was it just friendly? And Gemma is like, boy, chill out. Seriously. And so, I mean, he calmed down after a while, but she was getting frustrated with him like, dude, I didn't do anything. If there was another place to sleep in Casa Amor, I would have. So he calmed down and he was like, well, look like we're in the same place where we started, so we good. So then both Billy and Andrew had a conversation over Tasha. Now, Andrew was upset, if you remember, at the whole recoupling ceremony. Billy didn't like what he had to say about his girl, Tasha. So he's trying to stand up for her. And Andrew was like, hold on, bruh. You don't know what's been happening here in the past 4 weeks. He was like, yeah, but you still didn't have to say what you had to say. So Tasha strolled over and was like, can I talk to you? And, you know, Tasha was like, man, you know, you come for me like that. And, you know, Andrew was like, look, those girls came in. They told me that they've heard everything that you've been saying and you've been fake. And yes, you are a Pinocchio and I feel like a mug. That girl got to screaming, talking about how she don't like them girls. They don't know what they talking about. And it's like, you know what you've been doing. Plus you brought a whole nother dude over from Casa Amor. That, you know, that man had feelings for you. And you know you've been up and down roller coaster. You've been taking him on this roller coaster of a coupling for the past 3 weeks. And so finally he woke up. The boys tried to tell him. The girls had to come into the villa and tell him. And then she turns around and tells him in the same breath, well, the door is still not closed toward you. And I'm like, oh, Andrew, don't do this. So now she playing both of them. She leaving the door of hope open for Andrew while she's still trying to kick it with Billy. And I'm like, oh, please don't fall for it. Then to end the episode, this whole interaction with Paige and Jacques, because Paige got some stuff to say. And pretty much it came back to the fact that, you know, she was being respectful. I didn't make any connection. And Jacques was like, look, I wanted to go through the whole process to test the relationship. And she was like, well, what is this the last test? And he say, I think so. And she was like, well, wait a minute. You think so? You're not sure? So then it goes to this whole thing where he's pretty much telling her, well, you know what? I understand if you don't want to be with me. The decision is yours. And she tried to make it look like it was him blaming and making it her fault. And he was like, no, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're upset with me and you don't like what happened, the choice is yours to be with me or not. He don't want to leave her, but he's putting the ball in her court. And she got pissed off about it. That's how she took it, as if he was blaming her. And then he made a statement about that they need to remember that they're still single and that we forget about that sometimes. And the girls was pissed off about that. I mean, that didn't even make sense. They all know that they're single. None of them are boyfriend and girlfriend. But the thing is, why did you have to say that to that girl? Because she came back for you. She came back to be with you, to build upon your coupling and to say, oh, well, you know, we're single. All of them are single, but the purpose of Love Island, not Friendship Island, is for them to build a connection. And yeah, this man right here is going to be in the doghouse for a little while. But let's see what happens with Dami and Indiyah tomorrow.
So you kissed her more than once?
Yeah.
How many times did you kiss her? I'm a heartbreaker, but I'm not disrespectful.
What the fuck were you doing, Jax? The way she made me feel all that time.
Don't mind me being ill. Mate, she's gonna forgive her. Yeah, well, let her forgive me.
So, it's not over yet, guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what happened next between Dami and Indiyah. And, of course, the further drama with, of course, Jacques and Paige. Woo, this was, I would say, one of the best episodes of the season, and it was one hell of an episode. So I hope you have enjoyed this recap. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.